Hello and welcome back to Forza Horizon 4 to test out another brand new vehicle. Summer season has just begun here in the game, so yes, we do have a brand new car to go and test out. And it is the month of Holdens this month, so 4 seasons of new Holdens being added, although I think we're only getting 3 cars. So we have this HSV GTS this week, then next week in autumn I will be testing out the Holden Commodore, that's being added then, and then we have a week with nothing new, and finally the Holden HSV GTSR. So a lot of these cars have just come forward from Horizon 3, and those that haven't have come from previous motorsport games. But as you can see, to win this week's Holden you just have to do this one racing series in the festival playlist, which I have done. So I do have the car, which we're going to jump straight into now and see what it is like. So this week the car we've got is the HSV GTS, which this model actually isn't in the previous Horizon. The one we've already got the 2014 version of this car basically, which was in Horizon 3, and this wasn't. This has previously only been in motorsport games. So it is slightly down on power on the newer car. Obviously it's 3 years older, but it shares the same 6.2 litre V8. Basically, I think it's a GM engine at this point. I think older ones had their own engine. But anyway, we're going to jump into this 2011 car. It's been in several motorsports games, most recently Motorsport 7, I think. But yeah, like I say, not been in any Horizon games before, although the 2014 version obviously has, that we already have in the game. But basically the new one's the Gen F, which means this is the Generation E, or VE, rather than VF models. But basically these HSV GTSs are based on the Holden Commodore saloons. I think it actually shares a lot of specs with the higher spec of those, but obviously HSV tuned version is going to be a bit faster, louder, shoutier, and much more fun to drive. So yeah, 437 horsepower, which is still plenty, but down a bit on the 577 of the newer model, but it does go. I'm assuming this is A-class, yes. 713, perfect. But yeah, it also needs to be a much more interesting colour, because at the moment it's grey. But yeah, very cool thing, with its big, powerful 6.2 litre V8. I mean, it's just like a muscle car saloon sort of thing. And I think, personally, I think it looks better than the newer one. But yeah, as fast as this thing is stock, let's go to... Oh look, we're basically at Fairlawn Manor, shall we? Well, I mean, there's not really a road to it here, so let's just go this way. But yeah, let's go to a house which happens to be Fairlawn Manor and see what upgrades and customization are available. I don't think I've driven this in any motorsport games, so I don't actually know what it's going to have. But we can soon find out. So let's start by quickly looking at upgrades. We'll start with the engine swaps and stuff, which I don't generally do. We have a V10 and a racing V8. We obviously have your standard all-wheel drive swap. We've got all 3 aspiration conversions, which isn't terribly surprising. It might be quite fun to supercharge it actually, but like I say, unless there's some mad or interesting customization, like things that aren't Forza Aero or a more unusual engine swap, I won't bother changing anything. Really, I'll always do the sort of tyres and track width and stuff. Because look, we can get some nice tyre writing. Who doesn't want tyre writing on their car? Right. Make those nice and wide. We'll bring the track width out a bit. We might lower it, that sort of thing. But generally, when a new car comes, I just sort of turn it into a nice road driving car, unless I'm specifically building it for a race. So this is what we'll do. Throw in all these bits. We'll try and keep it within A-class, I think. But maybe... As much as I want better brakes, I like those big yellow calipers, so we're going to leave those. Let's put some race springs on it, though. And do the general handling-y bits. And leave it there. 775, so it's towards the top of A class. What happens if I... What happens, actually, if I put in a supercharger? Did I do that? Well, twin turbos makes it 800. It's just because we're so close to the top of A, I kind of feel like maybe we should do like that. And an exhaust, and then we can put a flywheel on. There. There we go. We've actually built it into something that could possibly be used in A-class. Not sure it'll be very good, because it's rear-wheel drive, but... I've built an A-class rear-wheel drive muscle car, okay? Which is going to be quite interesting, I think, to drive. Before we throw on a plain colour, let's have a look and see if there's any designs we want. I mean, it's a purple racing livery. I should probably want to put that on. No, let's put on a nice plain colour. I mean, that's kind of gold, which looks a little bit weird. Ooh. I do like the green. I do like the green. Do we go green or bright yellow? I mean, it's already got all the yellowy bits on it, so maybe we go bright yellow. Although green with the yellow accents does look good, but I think bright yellow. Can we put a... Should we put a carbon fibre? No. Let's not do that. There we go. We've got a nice bright yellow. Built it up to A-class. Let's see what it's like. Might actually... I was wondering whether to take it for a race or something. We'll see. I'll see what it handles like. Because I kind of expect it's still going to be quite slide-aroundery. Which is obviously a real word. As soon as we load out onto the road, we'll see what it is actually like. That yellow is even brighter out here, somehow. Oh, and some people with horrible Forza Aero on an Alfa Romeo have crashed into a wall. What's it like in here? Yeah, it's kind of not... It's not got a terribly exciting interior. I like those dials in the middle. It's kind of... It's a modern car interior. It's very nice, but not particularly exciting. But yeah, the outside is a bit more mad with those nostril vents and the bright yellow paint, so... I do quite like these. Mad. I mean, who doesn't like a mad four-door saloon with a big V8 in the front? So as a car, I really like it, and I like what is in the game, and I love those spoiler mounts on either corner. Those are just... They're quite weird, but they're quite cool. And I think, like I said earlier, I think it is actually better looking than the newer one. I like the sort of diffuser and grille more. I'm not quite sure. It's a little bit like a Lexus grille, that sort of weird shape at the front. I'm not entirely sure I like that, but overall I think I prefer the look of it to the new one. But yeah, I do like both of them, but the only thing I kind of feel like with this car, well, as with a lot of cars in Forza that they're adding, is it is just a copy and paste job from the previous game. Why wasn't it here at launch? You don't really need to be adding it now. So really it should have been in here at launch. I know it's not... This one's a little bit different because it wasn't in previous Horizons, but it's been in Forza games before, so they've just had to copy it across. And it really shouldn't take them 2 years into a game to do that. And although I've said I prefer this one, I don't think it's entirely necessary to have it when we've got the 2014 model, which is the same year model as the Maloo, which they're basically, I mean, they're very similar cars, aren't they? So, as much as I like this one, and I prefer it to the 2014 one, we don't really need both. So it's a bit of an unnecessary addition, but... And it probably should have just been in at launch, which is kind of more what I'm trying to say than... I'm pleased it's finally here, but it should have been in at launch, because it's just very similar to a car we've already got, and all they had to do was copy it from a motorsport game, so... I like the car, but I don't feel it's entirely necessary to have both, and if they're going to, they should have put them in at launch. And that's all I think about a lot of these cars that they're copying across. But yeah, I do like the car. Yeah, it kind of, it doesn't handle brilliantly, which isn't much of a surprise. That's not really what it's for having fun in, which I am, but I don't think we'll take it for a race. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I like the car, but either it should have been in at launch, or they should be adding new cars, which is going to be a bit of a theme of this update, I think. But yeah, that's going to do it for a first drive of that. But yeah, that's not what I want. It's kind of... I don't know why they do these themed updates, because you end up with 4 very similar cars, and by the end of the month, you're a little bit bored. It'd be better if they spread them out and put a sort of variety of 4 different cars in like they used to. Especially when they're all, like I said, it's going to be a bit of a theme of the cars being copied forwards, because that was in Horizon 3. That week we're not even getting anything, so no car video that week. And that was in Horizon 3. So the next 2 are from Horizon 3. This one's at least from motorsport games. It's not been in Horizon before. But the other 2 are going to be just copied across from Horizon 3, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I'm pleased they're finally here, like I said, with this car. So thanks for adding them, but they should really have been in launch. But yeah, that's going to do it for a first look at the HSV GTS, the 2011 model. So obviously we already have the 14, so that's going to do it for the first look at that. Don't forget to watch out for the videos on the next couple of cars as they come out. So I think there's one next week, then there's none in winter, and then there's one in spring. I think that's what I said when I looked at the seasons. But yeah, that is going to do it for a first look at the HSV GTS 2011 model, which I haven't actually driven in any Forza game, despite me complaining it's being copied across. So there we go. I like the car, but it's a bit of a copy and paste job again. That is all for this video, so thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with the next video very soon.